Virgo, there is something sitting in someone's chest right now that does not belong there anymore. It has been there long enough. It has been carried in the specific way of something that was supposed to be temporary, held just until the right moment, just until the timing was better, just until the courage arrived in sufficient quantity to make the saying of it feel possible, and the temporary has stretched into something that has started to feel permanent in a way this person did not intend and can no longer tolerate. They need to come clean. Not want, need. The distinction matters, and it is the reason this reading exists today. Wanting to say something implies a choice that is still genuinely open, a thing that could go either way, a feeling that is significant but not yet pressing. What this person is experiencing is past wanting. It has entered the territory of needing in the specific way of something that has accumulated beyond the capacity of the container holding it, beyond what patience or timing or the careful calculation of the right moment can any longer justify keeping inside, beyond the point where saying nothing remains a reasonable option. They have something to tell you, something true. Something that has been waiting, sometimes patiently and sometimes not patiently at all, for the moment of its expression. And that moment has arrived, not because the timing has become perfect. The timing is never perfect for the things that most need to be said, because the cost of continued silence has finally, decisively, completely exceeded the cost of finally speaking. What they have been carrying is yours. It belongs in the space between you rather than in the private interior where they have been keeping it, and they are done keeping it. Subscribe to this channel and drop the word clean in the comments right now, because what is coming, the thing they need to tell you, the coming clean that has been building toward this moment for longer than you know, is going to change something in them, in you, in the space between you that has been holding this unsaid thing without either of you fully acknowledging what it was holding. The space is about to be cleared. Let me start with what coming clean means in this specific context, because the phrase carries different weight depending on the nature of what has been withheld. And I want to be precise about what the cards are showing me so that you receive this with the right quality of understanding. This is not a confession of wrongdoing. The coming clean is not the unburdening of guilt or the admission of a transgression or the correction of a deception that has caused harm. I want to name that clearly because the phrase can carry those implications, and the energy here is entirely different from any of that. This is a different kind of coming clean, the kind that involves telling the truth about feeling, about how much, about what specifically, about the things this person has known and felt and understood, about what you mean to them that they have kept in the private space of their own interior for reasons that made sense at the time and make sense no longer. They have been dishonest with you, not in the harmful way, in the human way, in the way of someone who had a truth and offered you a smaller version of it because the full version felt too large or too risky or too potentially destabilizing to the dynamic that existed between you, in the way of someone who said, I care about you, when the more accurate thing was, I love you. Who said you matter to me, when the more precise thing was, you are the person I think about when I am trying to think about other things. Who communicated warmth and interest and the ordinary vocabulary of closeness while withholding the specific, complete, fully honest accounting of what lives underneath all of that vocabulary. The accounting is what they need to give you, the full version, the one that matches what is actually true, rather than the version that was safe enough to say without completely exposing everything. What is the specific thing they need to tell you? Let me be as precise as the cards allow me to be, because precision is what this moment deserves. The first thing, the foundational thing, the thing that everything else is built on and that has to be said first before anything else can be said, honestly, is the scale of it. They need to tell you how much. Not in the general, this is significant way that they have perhaps already communicated in various forms. In the specific, this is the actual size of what I feel way that has never been fully offered, the way that includes the sleepless moments, the way that includes the fact that you surface in their thinking with a consistency and a completeness that has made you a permanent resident of their interior life. The way that includes the full and honest acknowledgement that what they feel for you has grown past any category they tried to keep it in and is now simply what it is, enormous, specific, completely and irrevocably yours. The second thing they need to tell you is the duration, how long this has been true, because part of the coming clean is the honest acknowledgement that what they are bringing to you now is not new, is not something that developed recently or that arrived suddenly or that is the product of recent circumstances making you visible to them in a new way. This has been present for a long time, longer than anything they have said or shown would have suggested, and the gap between how long it has been true and how long they have been saying so is part of what they need to clean. The honest accounting of all the time during which they felt this and said something smaller. The third thing, and this is the one that requires the most courage and that they have been working up to for the longest, is the specific, the particular things about you, the named qualities, the specific moments that mattered and what they meant, the individual things that produced in them what no general statement of feeling can adequately convey. Coming clean about feeling is not just saying, I love you. It is saying, here is what in you produced it. Here is the specific thing you did that I have never stopped thinking about. Here is the particular quality of yours that has become the standard against which I measure everything. Here is you, seen by me, with all the specificity and the completeness of someone who has been paying the kind of attention that only love pays. That specific accounting delivered with the full honesty of someone who has decided that the truth in its complete form is what they owe you, is what is coming. Let me tell you what has kept this inside for as long as it has been inside. Because understanding the specific nature of what they have been navigating will produce in you the quality of compassion that this person's vulnerability deserves when they finally bring it. The first thing that kept it inside was the relationship as it existed. Whatever the configuration of things between you, whatever the specific dynamic, the history, the context, the way the connection has been defined or undefined, it created a set of conditions in which the full truth felt dangerous to the existing thing. And the existing thing, whatever its imperfections and whatever its insufficiency compared to what both of you are actually capable of, was something they were not willing to risk losing. So they stayed in it, offered the smaller version of the truth because the smaller version was compatible with the existing thing, while the full version might have required it to change. And change, even towards something better, carries the risk of disruption of the existing thing being lost in the transition to whatever comes after. They were protecting something, not the wrong thing to protect the connection, the access to you in the form available, the daily reality of your presence in their life, even if not in the full form they wanted. But the protection has become, over time, something else, something more like suppression, something that is costing them more than the thing it is protecting is worth. And arriving at that realization that the cost of keeping the truth inside has exceeded the value of the protection it was providing is what has produced the need to come clean. The second thing that kept it inside was uncertainty about how it would be received. Not performed uncertainty, genuine uncertainty, rooted in the specific vulnerability of someone who has enough self-awareness to know that what they feel is large, and that large feelings, when expressed, ask something significant from the person receiving them. They were not sure you would want to receive it. Were not sure that the full truth of what they feel would be welcome rather than overwhelming or inconvenient or productive of a response they could not bear to receive. And that uncertainty, the specific fear of the full truth landing badly, is something that has held many honest things inside many people for far too long. What changed? What has moved the uncertainty to the side and replaced it with the need that is now driving everything? You did something. Again, and this keeps being the case in these readings, this keeps being the thing that tips things from almost to now. You did something that changed the calculation, not a dramatic something. Something in the ordinary territory of how you are, how you showed up in a moment, how you simply were in a way that communicated without your intending to communicate it, without your awareness that it was being received as a signal that the truth might be welcome, that the space between you might be large enough and warm enough and safe enough to hold what they have been holding. They took that as permission, or not permission, exactly, encouragement. The gentle, unintentional encouragement of someone whose way of being in the world makes honest things feel possible. And the encouragement was enough to move the calculation from too risky to necessary, enough to bring them to the place of need they are in right now. What does the coming clean look like when it happens? How does it arrive? In what form? With what quality? Because I want you to be able to receive it with open hands rather than catching it off guard. It arrives with difficulty. I want to be honest about that because the difficulty is important information. This is not going to be smooth. This is not going to be a perfectly articulated declaration from someone who has rehearsed exactly what to say and who delivers it with the composed confidence of someone who has done this before. This is going to be a person who is saying something for the first time in the way it actually needs to be said, fighting the impulse to soften or qualify or protect themselves by offering a slightly smaller version than the full one, winning that fight through sheer necessity because the full version is what they have decided you deserve. There may be a moment where they seem to be searching for words, where the fluency that usually characterizes their communication is temporarily absent because the thing they are trying to say keeps being larger than the container of language they are reaching for. Let them search. Do not fill the silence for them. Do not rescue them from the difficulty of finding the words by offering them an easier conversation to fall back into. Let them get to what they came to say. It arrives with eye contact, or the deliberate avoidance of it. Both mean the same thing in this context. There is going to be a quality to how they are physically present in this moment that is different from ordinary presence. A stillness, a sense of someone who is very deliberately, very consciously choosing to be completely in this moment rather than part of themselves managing the moment from a slight remove. They are going to be all there, vulnerable and honest and fully arrived in the specific way that only people saying true things are fully arrived. And it arrives with the ask underneath it, the implicit or explicit request, depending on their courage in the moment to be received, not to be agreed with necessarily, not to be told that the feeling is returned in exactly the kind and quantity they have brought, but to be received. To have what they have brought acknowledged as real and significant and worth the full quality of your attention and your honest response. Give them that. The full quality of your attention and your honest response. Whatever that honest response is, I want to address something now that I have been feeling in your energy throughout this reading. Something about where you are in relation to this person and this incoming truth that is worth examining before the moment arrives. You have been wondering, in the quiet and the private and the specifically Virgo honest space of your own interior, you have been asking a question about this person that you have not had the information to answer. Not whether you feel something, what you feel. Virgo always knows what they feel, even when they decline to fully name it. Something more specific than that. A question about whether what you feel is met, whether the particular quality of your attention to this person, the specific way they surface in your thoughts and occupy a particular space in your sense of what matters, whether any of that is something they experience in kind. The answer is coming. The coming clean is the answer. And what it is going to reveal to you is that the wondering was not unfounded, that the sensing of something significant on their side was accurate, that the specific quality of their attention to you that has registered in your peripheral awareness as being different from ordinary has been different from ordinary because it has been love trying to contain itself within the available space and not entirely succeeding. You have been right about all of it, about the quality of what exists between you, about the significance of what they carry, about the sense that the surface of how things have been defined between you is not the full story of what is actually present. The full story is about to be told. And what I want for you, what I genuinely, specifically, with the full investment of having sat with your energy in this reading, want for you is that you receive it without immediately processing it into something manageable, without taking the most real and most complete thing someone has ever brought you and running it through the Virgo machine that turns everything into something you can evaluate and catalog and respond to from a place of considered thoughtfulness rather than immediate genuine feeling. Feel it first, evaluate it after, if you must, but feel it first. What happens after the coming clean? What do the cards show me about the territory that opens once this truth has been spoken and received? What opens is the most honest chapter of this connection that has yet existed. Because everything before this moment, however warm, however genuine, however real in its own way, has been operating with a piece of the truth missing, with the most significant piece withheld. And connections that operate with a significant truth missing have a quality of incompleteness that both people feel even when neither can fully name it. A sense of something just slightly out of full resolution, of almost but not quite. The coming clean resolves the almost, brings the connection into the full resolution that has been available but not yet accessed. And what a connection feels like when it is operating with the full truth present is completely different from what it feels like when it is operating around a withheld thing. It breathes differently, has more room in it, feels safer in the specific way of something that is no longer managing around a secret. What also opens is the possibility of genuine reciprocity. The full exchange, truth for truth, feeling for feeling, the honest interior of one person offered to the honest interior of another, with nothing managed or withheld on either side. And the specific intimacy of that exchange, two people who have decided that honesty matters more than protection, and who are both willing to be completely visible in what they feel is the rarest and the most sustaining kind. of closeness there is. The connection that exists after this moment has the potential to be the truest version of what has always been possible between you. The version that was always there underneath the management and the small truths and the carefully maintained definitions that kept the full thing from emerging. The version that comes into existence when two people stop protecting themselves from it and simply let it be what it is. That version is extraordinary. These cards are showing me something extraordinary on the other side of this moment. One last thing, the most important thing, the thing that I want to be the final word of this reading, because it is the thing that matters most. When they come clean, when they finally bring you the full truth of what they have been carrying and lay it in the space between you with the specific courage of someone who has decided that honesty is worth everything. It costs. The most significant thing you can do is match it, not mirror it exactly, not necessarily offer the same words or the same scale or the same specific form of disclosure. Match it in the sense of meeting the honesty with honesty, the vulnerability with vulnerability, the full truth with your full truth, whatever that truth is and however it compares to what they are bringing. Because what this person is doing when they come clean is not just telling you something about themselves. They are creating a space, a specific, deliberately opened, held open, at significant personal cost space where the full truth can exist between you. And that space, once created, is either inhabited by two people or it collapses back into something smaller. Step into it with everything you actually feel, with the complete and unmanaged version of your own truth about this person and what they mean and what you have been carrying and what you want to happen next. The space is being made for you, for both of you, for the version of this connection that has always been possible and has been waiting for exactly this moment of mutual honesty to finally, completely, permanently come into being. Walk into it, Virgo. The truth is already there waiting for you. Tell me in the comments, can you feel it? The specific energy of someone who has something to tell you that they have been holding for too long. Drop clean if this reading landed somewhere that recognized itself. Tell me if you have been sensing something unspoken in this person. Tell me if the quality of what I described, the need rather than the want, the full truth rather than the smaller version, matches something you have been feeling approaching without knowing what it was. Because what you have been feeling approaching is exactly this. The truth, yours and theirs simultaneously, finally finding its way into the light.